கற்றது கைமண் அளவு கல்லாதது உலகளவு. What it means is, what we know is just a drop of soil, but what we don't know could be the entire earth.
I see.
So this is a reflection for all leaders to realize, with that humility, we should celebrate what we don't know.
Welcome back to the Signature TalkCast, a platform where we always bring new insights to you. Today's episode, we have our honorable guest, Dr. Prebagaran Jayaraman, fondly known as Dr. Prabha, who is internationally respected expert in leadership development with over 35 years of experience in learning and development across military, corporate, and international environments. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Prabha. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Liwan. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, we are very delighted to have you with our episode today.
Thank you.
So, I'm sure that you are famous in Malaysia, but could you please introduce yourself a little bit for our audience in Cambodia?
Sure. Hello, friends. Thank you. Well, I've been in the industry for the last 36 years. I started making Barbie dolls, the toy. That was way back 1989. And leadership, and especially in instructional design, I started my career in military, where I was introduced to a training system known as Royal Malaysian Navy Training System. After about 10 years serving in the military, I was privileged to join an international shipbuilding project, where I was the head of a Marine Technology Academy. And after completing about 25 years, I decided to share this experience as a trainer. And I had the privilege of conducting training in 15 different countries, including Cambodia. And it's an honor to meet many friends like you and share some of the expertise and experience. Thank you very much.
So you are also a fellow of Chartered Management Institute, right? So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yes, sure, Liwan. Chartered Management Institute is a professional body for leadership and management. Started more than 75 years ago, and I had the privilege of being the chairman of regional board of Chartered Management Institute for some time. And that gave me a real experience on professional standard for leadership and management.
I see. So you were sharing us earlier about your journey, and then you start you take the learning as your career right now.
Right.
So can you tell us about the leadership journey and why you take the learning and development as your career journey?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. When it comes to leadership journey, reflecting on it, I started my leadership role very young as a production supervisor.
I see.
Way back 1989. At that time, I was responsible to lead about 10 line leaders in a factory, and in total about 100 operators. But the real leadership came perhaps during the military days, where I was responsible for conducting training, designing training, and I was privileged to be trained in what's known as Royal Malaysian Navy Instructional System Design.
I see.
And that gave me an opportunity to serve in a national project, warship building project for the Malaysian Navy, where I became the head of Marine Technology Academy. And reflecting on it after about 25 years in various leadership roles, it's time for me to share some experience. And of course, the fellowship with Chartered Management Institute and taking a leadership role briefly gave me a lot of privilege. And coming to a country like Cambodia and many other countries gave me an opportunity to learn from leaders and my own course participants. And this is a journey for me to share.
I see. So because military world and the civil world might be different. How about learning? Do you find it different between military and civil for the learning journey?
Oh, it's a very interesting question. I normally tell people, in a corporate world, if you don't do well in your performance, worst come, the business may go fail. The company may, worst case scenario, bankrupt.
Yeah.
But in the military, if a person is not competent, you bring back body bags.
Oh, yeah.
So in military, competency or skill is literally life and death, literally.
Yeah.
So we have to ensure a person is competent before taking up the role. So that gave me a very good experience to design training that matters. And something that I always tell my friends, my course participants, learning, including leadership, is not about knowing, but translating that into action. So learning means change in behavior. My course participants who are listening to this, they may have heard this 100 times. Learning means change in behavior.
I see. So how about your inspiration? Like what inspired you to commit in the leadership development?
Reflecting on this question, coincidentally, yesterday was Father's Day.
Yeah.
Right? So I was actually writing a post and reflecting my own father and mother. They are the first teachers. And growing up in a laborer's family, I was born in a plantation, in an estate. But my father's leadership to lead the family and provide the best possible education could be the inspiration. I'm the privileged and lucky ones. Even though financially we were not very rich or we just struggled to make a living, but I had the privilege of perhaps getting the best possible education. So that may be an inspiration for me to share that experience to help others to grow. Because I have seen firsthand, or rather I've experienced the power of education in transforming life. And I'm one of the beneficiary of that. And I hope that can help more people to change their life and contribute to their community, to their organization, and to their nation with good education, including leadership.
I see. You were mentioning about the program that you conducted about leadership development. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, when it comes to leadership, it's a kind of lifelong journey. I grew up in the 1980s. I went to university in 1985, and I can clearly remember 1986. For those who are a bit older like me, that was the year there was the World Football, FIFA World Cup in Mexico, where Argentina became the world champion. In the 1980s and early 90s, Diego Maradona is a legend. Young people like you may know Lionel Messi. People like me know Diego Maradona. Diego Maradona was an excellent football player, and perhaps because of his expertise, later he was given the responsibility to become the chief coach of the Argentinian football organization. Unfortunately, after some time, Maradona was sacked by AFC, Argentinian Football Confederation, if I remember correctly. Sometimes I share that example with people to say that just because you're an expert in your respective field, in banking, for example, you could have been an expert accountant or finance or an operation expert. But when you are given the role as a leader, that's a different competency. So in my training program, the key message is being an individual expert or individual contributor is important, but not enough to lead a people, lead a group of people. align with company's vision, organization's vision, or nation's vision, that requires training. And I'm glad one of the framework that I'm familiar and I appreciate very much is the Chartered Management Institute's Management and Leadership Development Framework.
I see. So you were saying that when someone become a leader, they still need to keep learning and growing, right? So why you think is that so, and why it's important for the environment, especially like a rapid change like today?
Yeah, of course. I mean, for example, 10 years ago, if anybody asks about AI, hardly anyone know.
Yes.
Though AI has been for many years,
Yes.
but the world became familiar with AI perhaps only the last 5-6 years.
Yes.
So imagine leaders like me who went to school in the 1980s. I still remember we were doing my assignment using typewriters.
Yes.
People like you may need to go to museum to see a typewriter.
Yes.
But I am dealing with real life issues involving AI, whether in managing projects, managing training. So a leader like me perhaps need to learn from someone like my son's age or my daughter's age about AI because they may be more expert in that field. So all I'm saying here is every leader must be a lifelong learner and if required, learn from someone who much younger than them. We call that reverse mentoring. Beside AI, the world is very focused on subject like sustainability. In today's world, environment, social, governance is not something that you choose to do. You must do. If you're not environmentally conscious, the business is at stake. So a leader must make themselves familiar on new changes that's happening around. And changes is so rapid in military or in corporate or in world politics. Everything changes. Finance, inflation, currency. These are all changes that will influence leaders' decisions, leaders' role.
Yeah.
So being a lifelong learner is not a choice, but it's a must.
Yes, I see. How about some leaders? Because you were saying about the reverse mentor, right? So I don't know, but maybe some people might think that they are young, so I cannot go and learn from them or anything. So what is the mindset with that? Like how can we change that? And what if they cannot change or they cannot go to learn or digest the AI? Like what might happen? What is the consequence?
This is very, very interesting question. I could have been guilty of that too. And I'm sure many of my friends, leaders, sometimes we may have that kind of mindset. Perhaps this is an opportunity to do a little bit of reflection. My native language is Tamil, an Indian language,
Yes.
a very, very old traditional language. There is a phrase that says, if I may say in Tamil first,
Yes, sure.
கற்றது கைமண் அளவு கல்லாதது உலகளவு. What it means is what we know is just a drop of soil, but what we don't know could be the entire earth.
I see.
So this is a reflection for all leaders to realize what we know could be just a drop. It could be a drop of water compared to 7 oceans.
Yes.
So with that realization, with that humility, we should celebrate what we don't know.
Yeah.
And once we start having that kind of attitude that I'm keen to learn, we are sending a signal to our team, our organization, that we are practicing learning culture.
I see. So I went through the CMI, and then there is the term professional standard. It's very interesting on that. So can you walk us through what is the CMI professional standard and how it helps leaders to do their reflection or how they can change and learn from the the seven ocean, not just a drop of water.
Interesting. Thank you, Liwan. I was introduced to this CMI Professional Standard perhaps about 6 or 7 years ago. Before that, I was not even aware that there is such thing called Leadership and Management Standard. Generally, many of us are aware, like accounting, there's ACCA, CMA, the kind of a professional standard. Yes. And of course, when it comes to other professions like doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects, we are all aware of those standards.
Yes.
In many of my training programs or in seminars, whenever I ask the audience, is there such thing as leadership and professional standard? Generally, many of us don't know. Not many people are even aware of such standards. So it's a good opportunity for us to be aware. So let me just walk you through these professional standards. In general, there are 4 main sections. And the first section starts with personal effectiveness. For me, this is a very, very important section. And each section, there are 3 main segments, we call that. For example, the first section, personal effectiveness. One of the segment is managing ourselves. And for example, when it comes to managing ourselves, let's take an example of time management. So if you're a good leader, we are a good leader, we should be able to manage time.
Yes.
Right? It could be attendance, it could be submission of reports, it could be commitment to our customer. How are we managing time? But in reality, time don't need management.
Yeah.
Whether you are a king of a country or a prime minister, nobody can tell the sun to come 1 second early. So time don't need to be managed. Time management is literally self-management.
Yeah.
So the first thing about being a leader is managing self. And leaders, another very, very important competency is making decisions.
Yeah.
Leadership decision is not as simple as traffic light. Red means stop, green means go.
Yeah.
If that is the kind of decision, anybody can become a leader.
Yes.
But in reality, leadership requires a lot of analysis, evaluation, creativity, and that skills is required for us to make quality decision. So that is the first segment, personal effectiveness.
Yes. So another thing, because it is the personal effectiveness, so it might be effective or ineffective. So what if leaders they cannot manage their own time effectively or making the decision effectively? How can they recover on that?
Very interesting question. I really like the idea. For me, a good leader is someone is taking some time to do self-reflection.
Yes.
You know, a couple of days ago, one of my friends told, true leaders' capability will be reflected when they are given the power. You know, and with the power, if they start having awareness, I may need help. I may have weaknesses. I may know that I don't know something.
Yes.
We call this unconscious incompetence.
I see.
Unconscious incompetent means you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a very big problem for leaders, especially when you're powerful.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you don't know, that is a big problem. So when you ask the question, what happens if a leader have challenge about managing themselves? That is a good sign. They should be celebrating, because that means instead of being unconscious incompetence, now they are being consciously incompetent.
I see.
So the leaders can, if joining the L&D team for training is a problem, leaders can always request for personal coaching. I have many of my friends who are expert in executive coaching. In fact, one of my friend, Vijay, I myself have a regular conversation with him. We are authoring a book together, And every conversation is like a coaching conversation. So I'm sure in Cambodia and many parts of the world, there are executive coaches. Seek help.
I see.
And in today's world with AI, with ChatGPT, with hundreds of books, leaders have a lot of opportunities to acquire the skill. The moment they know they have leadership gap, I hope they start taking action.
I see. So it's very interesting on what you mentioned that about the consciousness and unconsciousness. So they need to be aware and start to do the reflection. So you were talking about the CMI Professional Standard. There are 4 pillars. The first one is the personal effectiveness. The second one is interpersonal excellence. The third one is the organizational performance. And the fourth one is being an ethical and inclusive leaders. So can we deep dive in each one of that? So for the first one regarding to the personal effectiveness, you were mentioning already about managing themselves, making decision, right? Is there anything else that we need to be aware on that? Like what does this mean in context of leadership and why it is foundational for the leadership development?
Yep. In my opinion, managing self, because sometimes what you do is louder than what you say.
Yeah.
So if a leader who manage themselves, the personal effectiveness is in order, then they are being a good role model.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I have few friends who are senior leaders who take a lot of time to go to gym, go to fitness, and their personal health is in order, their relationship is in order, and their commitment for learning is in order. That gives me a lot of inspiration. They become my role model. So for me, a good leader, like what we said, instead of they talking or telling, rather they be a role model. To do that, their personal effectiveness is a must.
I see.
But the second part of it is perhaps more important. That is interpersonal excellence.
Yes.
Because I used to say, even if you're a president of a country or a king for the matter, you can't be eating diamonds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even you are the best brain surgeon in the world, for you to do your surgery, you need to have a team of nurses, including housekeeping team.
Yes.
Imagine if the operation theater is contaminated. That is a big problem.
Yeah.
So a good leader must be aware that leadership is always an interdependent activity. We are dependent on others, our team members and other stakeholders. So in order for us to be a good leader, we need to have the ability to develop interpersonal excellence. So in CMI standard, in interpersonal excellence, we give a lot of attention. How are we building relationship? How are we building network?
Yes.
How are we developing our people? Because as a leader, if you want to sit comfortably in a chair, the legs must be strong.
Yes.
That means all leaders who are listening to us, I hope they give a lot of attention for capacity building. Their L&D department must be well supported, but more importantly, the leader themselves, I think, should spend some time to come and share their aspiration.
Yes.
No? I remember Jack Welch, the former CEO of GE. He passed away some time ago, but I've read about his commitment in the Leadership Center for GE, Croftonville in New York, where he physically come over there 4 or 5 days in a year and conduct training, not coming to cut ribbon and doing an opening ceremony,
Yes.
but physically conduct training. At that time, GE had about 300,000 employees in 50 or 60 different countries. How busy a CEO can be.
Yeah.
Yet, he find time. I hope all CEOs and leaders who are listening to us take this as an inspiration for them to take time and acquire the skill to become a trainer and become a role model for talent development.
Yeah. When you were talking about that, I was thinking about like how close, for example, like I'm not the CEO, but I am the people who are on the ground. And then like when the CEO spend time to listen to us, to have the time to connect with each other, it feels very meaningful and inspiration from the people from the ground. And then we start to inspire and then like keep going, and we know like the direction that the leaders are trying to go. So I think it's very interesting. However, it triggered me to back to the first pillar about the time management. So you mentioned that they need to find time. However, if they are very busy doing the task, a lot of things, and then they need to spare time to connect with the people on the ground, on their team, all the function. Like how can they link between that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, I recall in a book, one of the very influential book for my personal life and my personal leadership journey is a famous book many people know, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yes.
So there, the author, Dr. Stephen Covey, has a phrase, don't be so busy climbing the ladder of success only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall.
Yes.
Meaning a good leader must decide to be effective, they must be doing the right thing.
Yes.
Meaning, as a leader, your job is developing your team, having this interpersonal excellence. As such, making time for that is a priority.
Yes.
And every leaders or every human being have 24 hours. So sometimes we used to say, don't be so busy driving that you have no time to refuel.
Yes.
Building relationship is like refueling.
Yes.
So it's not matter of time, it's either it's your priority or not. So I suggest leaders to consider building relationship, developing their team as one of the key priority and schedule your time for that.
I see. That's very meaningful for that. Like you mentioned, don't be very busy driving, but need to refuel. So we were talking about the personal effectiveness, time management, making decision, and then the interpersonal excellence. Then it's not just enough because making people happy and inspired, but no result is not something that an organization want, right? So it comes to the third pillars about organizational performance. So how can the leaders make sure that their team are capable enough to deliver the task and measurable values?
This is again, Liwan, a very, very interesting question. Organizational performance.
Beyond Premier, the signature banking experience.